2, 1.
All right, Coach, nice to have you with us today.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yes, sir. So big playoff game tomorrow, right? How do you think your players are mentally prepared for this game? Do you think that they're, quote unquote, locked in yet? Or do you think,
I think the players are in a really good headspace. They've worked really hard. They've overcome some up and downs and some adversity throughout the season. I think they're on a little bit of a hot streak, so they're kind of riding that wave a little bit. But they've continued to keep the standard, practice hard every day, get better at their walkthroughs, tape, practice or paying attention more to detail. And I think teams that have overcome adversity throughout the year are a little more dangerous than maybe some other teams that haven't experienced any adversity throughout the football season. So I think that's one of the things we got going for our football team right now, because a lot of teams are undefeated. You can, as a coach, you can tell them you need to do this, you need to do that, and they hear you, but it doesn't really resonate. But a team that's faced adversity, I think the message can resonate with them because they know we can always revert back to previous incidents throughout the year or previous adversity, and then they can make corrections and go from there. So we've been working on that all year.
Right. Yeah, speaking of that, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak to end the season. So do you plan on to ride off this momentum, and how far do you think that it can get you in the playoffs, Because I think we have like a state championship run based off these past 3 games.
This team's capable of a lot. We have a lot of good players and a lot of good positions. And, like you said, you got to get hot at the right time, especially in the league we play in. We play in one of the best football leagues in the entire state of Tennessee. The second-ranked team in our region last year, Houston, won the state championship and finished second in our region. Kind of similar situation. They started off 2-3, and then they end up winning the whole thing. So I do think that a state champion can easily come from our 6A region. And one of the interesting tidbits I would say about that is there hasn't been a team in 2 years beat a team from our region in any other part of the state the last 2 years in the playoffs. Only our teams have beat our teams in the playoffs.
Okay. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be against Kirkwood?
I mean, handling the trip, being focused the whole trip, getting off the bus after 4 hours, getting loose, and doing all those little things that count to help you win those games. Hydration, taking the walkthrough serious, getting loose, your warm-up, staying energized, and because those are even challenging for upper level football teams. Driving 3 to 4 hours, it can be tough and it can be draining. So that's obviously a home field advantage for them. But our guys have been there and done this before. We had to go play in Rossview last year, and Kirkwood School is probably located a couple miles from Rossview. So we're able to sell that message with our kids too. Like we need to make these corrections, and us as coaches too. It helps us to plan better, like what went well last year we went up there, and then what would we do different. So now the stuff that we would do different, we're going to go in and make those corrections, and then hopefully have a better itinerary and a better schedule this year.
Okay. And lastly, what would winning a state championship ultimately mean to you and the program as a whole and the players?
I think it's one of those things. It's kind of a solidification of what you do and how you do what you do. But for me as a coach, I've been close several times. I've been to 4 semis in a state championship game before. To me, the best thing about it all is the memories you get to make with those guys. You get extra weeks with these players, and you build lifelong memories with them. And it's experiences that everybody gets that I think makes the playoff special. And I think overcoming adversity has been one of those things we can always revert back to and have a smile on our face about, because like I said, it's hard because half the seniors are not playing anymore in 6A football. And then after this week, it'll cut again to another half. 32 teams go to 16, and then it goes to 8, and then 4. And then, it's tough at this point because a lot of these guys have been playing other teams since late July. And that's a lot of attrition on your body. You're sitting there playing 2 or 3 scrimmage games, a jamboree, and then you're going to have to win 5 more games in the playoffs. So it takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of toughness mentally and physically to stay dialed in that long. But I'd also say it takes a little bit of luck too. You got to get a little lucky. You got to stay injury free. You got to have a couple balls bounce your way that may not certain years. But it's definitely one of the things that I think this team would like to do. I think our team would like another chance, to get to play some of the teams in our region that beat us earlier in the year. To see how much better that they have gotten. But, there's some really good teams in our region. So I know our guys are fired up to play, though. I think they do feel rejuvenated at this point.
All right, Coach, had a lot of great answers. Great having you on the show today. Best of luck tomorrow and for the rest of the weeks to come. So
thanks for having me.
Sir. All right. Sit in.